Hello friends. So in this video we are going to learn about a very common use case in many of the Android applications, that is to capture a image or a video using the system camera in a easy way. So let's get started. So first of all, I've created this empty activity with just a button and nothing else, and I have implemented a listener as well. So this is my Android manifest file with just a entry of this activity. There is no permission, and we actually don't need any sort of permission to capture an image or a video. So this is our main activity file, and now make sure that to do implement the way that I'm going to tell you, we have to include this particular dependency, which is the Android activity KTX dependency. I'm using the KTX version because we are using Kotlin. There is also a Java version without KTX like this, but we are going to do this in Kotlin. So you make sure you have this dependency, otherwise you won't be able to do the stuff that I'm going to show you. So now coming back to our activity. So first of all, to capture anything, you should define some sort of path, like where exactly that should be saved, right? So let's get started with that only. So let's define some variables over here to actually specify the path. So the first variable will be, let's say, the image directory. Okay, so this will be our environment dot get external storage public directory. Okay, we are using the external storage, and to do that we have to specify a type over here, like it's mentioned, specify a type. So the type will be environment dot directory picture, because we will be going to capture a picture. Okay, so let's also define a type for video as well, because we are going to use video as well. So here we can define the type video, so we can define the type as movies. Okay, so whatever we'll be creating over here, we'll be creating a replica for video as well. Okay, so now for image we have specified the directory. Now we have to specify the exact file where we need to save it. Okay, so to do that we can specify a image file, which will be something like this. Here you can specify the file, and the file expects two things. One will be the file, two strings actually. So the first string is the actual directory, and the second string is the child. Okay, so the actual directory in this case is this particular thing, and this is of type file. Okay, so you can say we are using this particular constructor, which is expecting a file and a string. So file in this case is not a file itself but a directory. Okay, and string is the child, which is the actual file. Okay, so here let's specify the image directory, which is the pictures directory in the external storage, and the child can be image.jpg, which is the .jpg, which is the actual picture. So similarly, like I mentioned, we'll be doing this stuff for video. So we can define this as video file, and this can be just video.mp4. okay, so now we've specified these two things. Okay, but to actually use these, we have to how we can actually tell the system to open the camera. There was thing called as like intent. You obviously know intent. So using intents we can actually tell the system to open the system camera. And then we have to do all that start activity for result thing, and we have to override this on activity result. Okay, so and here we'll be getting the result in the data part. So first we have to check the request code, then we have to check the result code, we have to check the data, and we have to get the data out of it. So this is also deprecated, right? Because of these all stuff we have to do over here. And also we'll be getting data as a bundle, so we don't have the like type. This is not type safe, right? So Android already deprecated it. So the way how we can do this is simply using the activity results API. Okay, so simply let's create a variable over here. So let's call it image result. Okay, so here we can specify the register register for activity result. Okay, so now this is the thing why we implemented that library or dependency. So this is coming from androidx.activity, which I mentioned earlier. We have to define over here. So this is coming from here. Okay, so to use this, we have to specify that dependency. So this function expects a result contract and gives us a callback. Okay, so there are predefined set of results which are already available. So we'll be using two of these. So let's type over here activity result contracts, and here you can see there are many of these defined. So we'll be using this take picture, okay, like this, and now we'll be getting a callback. So the callback is a boolean which will be the status that it is a success or a failure. So let's call it success, and on this let's show a toast. Let's show a toast. Okay, and let's call it result and print whatever we'll be getting, like this. Okay, so now as we've created this for image, let's also create a replica for video. So let's call it video result. Okay, so let's call it image result, let's call it video result. Okay, we will be calling these one by one, so it doesn't matter, but still let's use proper names. So now we've created all this stuff. Okay, so which is the basic requirement, and now how to actually call these particular things. So to do that, we'll simply copy this image result, we'll paste it over here, and there's a function called as launch, which you might be seeing that it is expecting a URI. Okay, so now you will be thinking that we've created files. Okay, we haven't created any, we don't have any URI. So from where we'll be getting this URI? So why this URI is needed? Because now we can't send the type file, we have to send URI. URI is actually containing the information of the path and information, and will be giving the information to the system that do the camera application have access to that particular URI or not. So to create a URI, one way is simply paste what is the name, that is, let's say image file, we are using it for image, so let's say image file dot to URI. Okay, if you are going to do this, so let me show you what happens. Let's call it image URI and paste it over here. Okay, so oops, it should be to URI. Okay, now let's try to run our application and see what happens. So let's open the locate as well. Okay, so now this is our application. Let's click on the capture button. See, nothing is happening, right? Why? We are calling the launch function, so something should happen, right? This nothing is happening because the URI here is actually invalid. We can't just create we can't just use these extension functions to URI to actually get a URI directly from a file. Okay, and we can't just pass it here. Okay, because the reason is that now due to some security implications, we have to tell the system that hey, we are opening the camera application or whatever other application or other activity from some other process, and we want you to grant a permission to that particular process to actually use this particular URI. Okay, because the system won't allow that particular thing to use a file that is created by our application. Okay, that is created by our process. It is like a secure way to so if it is a public file, let's say, even if this is a public file, our application is creating this file, right? So how would the system know that the camera have the access to this particular file, have the right access to this file? So we have to specify that from our application itself. Now how to do that? So here comes the role of content providers, or sorry, file providers. Okay, so now how to create a file provider? So to do that, first we have to create a XML file over here. So let's just create a XML file over here. Let's call it XML resource file, and this will be provider paths. You can name it anything, and by default it creates a preference screen. We have to change these two paths over here. Okay, here we are going to use the external path. If we are going to use our application specific storage, then we can use files path. We are using external path, so let's give it any name. Let's say external files. Okay, and we'll be giving access to every particular directory from external file. So we'll be using dot rather than specifying a particular directory. Okay, you can also specify a particular directory, depends on your use case. So let's do this, and you have to define something in your manifest file as well. Okay, so here in the application section, so what you have to do is you have to define a provider. Okay, so here you have to define an authority. So authority will be your anything, it will be a string. Okay, so we should give a name like your package name and some provider. So your package name dot provider we can do, or maybe we can do file provider, anything you want. Okay, and here as a name we have to specify androidx.core.content.file provider. So Android Studio is actually really smart that it already figured out what we need to use over here. Okay, so now we have to specify some other things as well, that we want to grant URI the permission. Okay, so grant URI permissions will be true in this case. We want to grant the permission to actually allow the camera application or some other application to use this particular set of URIs. Okay, so now we also have to specify the exported, which will be false, because we don't want to make this public, only our application should use this. And now we have to specify some sort of metadata over here. So what this metadata will contain, this will contain a resource and a name. So the name will be, in this case will be android dot support dot file provider paths. Sorry. And we have to specify the resource. Resource will be our XML file which we have just created. So it will be a XML/provider paths, like this. Okay, so we have specified our file here, which will tell the system that whatever paths we have specified here, okay, whatever paths we have specified here are like we've granted the URI permission to these paths. So now how to use and create this particular URI from a file is, so we'll delete this. We can't do the toURI method. So to do that, what we have to do is we have to use the file provider here as well. File provider dot get URI for file. See, there are multiple so there are like some things which are required. One is the context, authority, and file. Okay, so context in this case will be this, which is the activity itself. Authority is the one we've specified over here. Like I mentioned, it needs to be a string, so we can simply copy it. Okay, we can simply paste it over here. And the third parameter is the actual file. Okay, in this case this will be an image file, the file for which we want to grant the URI access. So now if we are going to run our application, it should ideally work. Let's see. So let's click on the capture button, and still nothing is happening, right? So why? So let's try to debug this. Let's see. So are we getting any sort of error? No. So let's open our files folder. Maybe these files already exist somewhere. So let's open the picture. Yeah, there are already some files with similar names. Let's try to see where's the movies directory. There is nothing in the movies directory yet. Okay, so now let's try to debug if there is anything else we made wrong. So image result, this is fine, and image file is using image directory. name is also fine, and this image file is what we are using over here. Yep. So everything seems perfect. Let's try to run our application again. Let's try to click on capture. Still nothing's happening. Something's broken, I don't know. So the camera application is actually fine, so ideally it should work. What's wrong over here? Oh shit, my bad. See, so I've created this binding, but here I'm using this layout traditional way. So we have to actually use this particular binding because our listener is attached to this particular binding. Okay, so that's a issue that can happen. Okay, now if we click on capture, see, it is opening the camera application. Let's try to move the camera. Let's click on capture. Let's click on tick button and see image result true, which means we have saved the image successfully. Let's try to open the file app. Let's go to our storage, go to pictures. See, here's the image which we just captured. Okay, now let me show you that movies folder is still empty because we haven't captured the video yet. So now to do this, similarly we can copy this, we can paste it over here. We can name this as video URI, and we can use this over here. Here also we have to use the video file. Okay, and here rather than image result, let's use video result, and let's run the application. And now if we click on the capture, oh, what's wrong? Oh, so in the video result we are still using take picture. We should use capture video. Okay, so these things actually matter because these are the way system will know what to do. Okay, close the camera application. Let's rerun our project. Click on capture. See, this is now a video view. Okay, let's try to capture this. Let's move our camera a little bit, show it everything. Yeah, let's stop it. Now let's click on the tick button. See, video result is true, so ideally the video should be saved, right? So let's go here, let's go to the movies. There's nothing yet. Let's go to the picture. So video is also saved in here because we have actually not used, I guess, the video directory. Yeah, here also we've used the image directory. Let's replace it with video directory. So that's why it saved it in the image directory itself. Let's try to capture it again. Let's capture it. Let's move the camera a little. Done. Save. Video result is true. Go back here. Go here. Movies. See, the video is now coming into movies. And let's see if this is playing. See, this is working. And now if you are wondering that we are able to capture the video without any permission, right? There is no permission. Now how to actually use these, right? So to use these, we already know that this is the callback which will tell us if there is a success or a failure. Now we can simply add a check over here. If this is a success, we can simply use this particular video because we already have the location of the video, we already have the name of the file, right? We already have the video file itself. Okay, so we can simply use it, right? So that's why this particular callback only give us a boolean, because we ourselves are the one who specify that which path it had to save the video or picture to. So it doesn't make sense for this to give us the path again in return, because we are the one who's specifying those paths. Okay, so simply use this file path, video file, and simply use the video for whatever purpose you want to. And see, with these set of codes, if I simply remove the image part from here, let's say I remove the image part from here. Okay, so see, only these set of lines are actually required to capture a video using the system. obviously, right? So this is the easiest way you can you can use to actually capture anything. And there are multiple things available, like rather than capture video, there are multiple more options like create document, get content, open a document. Okay, so there are multiple things already available for us, right? So you also have this request permission, request multiple permissions, because now Android had deprecated the get activity on activity result method. So start activity for result is also sort of deprecated, you can say. Means that is not deprecated internally, this is also calling that particular thing, but this is more type safe, because this will exactly give you a particular type and will not give you just a bundle and result code, request code, etc. So I personally think this is the best way to do this. So if you like the video, do hit the like button. If you want to see such more content, just hit the subscribe button. My subscriber count currently is very low, so just hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon if you want to get notified for the future videos. So see you in next set of videos. So take care, bye bye.